Good morning. So I am about half an hour south of Grand Teton on my way to Salt Lake City in Utah. And I've stopped off in the little town of Jackson, Wyoming. It's a town of about 10,000 people and it is very quiet. But the striking thing about the town is on the town square you have this arch which is made of antlers. And let's go take a look. Every single video blog that I've seen about Grand Teton has included a visit to this. The town is Jackson and it's in Jackson Hole, which is the valley. Yeah, and these are all genuine antlers. So they're from elk. This is called the Elk Antlers Arch, and it leads into a really nice little park. This is the main town square. The town is also famous for being kind of artsy. The population is 10,000, but during the summer that expands rapidly. I'm not sure if they're into early starts here. A lot of places seem to be closed still. But anyway, the main thing that I wanted to do was come and see these antlers. I mean, literally every single travel video that I've seen has included pictures of the antlers. So, scratch that off the bucket list. Since then, I've actually found out a little bit more information about those antlers. Just out of town, there's this massive field where every year tens of thousands of male elk come to fight amongst themselves for breeding rights. And not tens of thousands, but about 7,000 or 8,000. And at the end of the season, they molt, they lose their antlers. And they shed their antlers, that's the word. And the local Boy Scouts go and collect them, the ones that aren't broken, etc. And they are auctioned off for charity. And that park, each corner has an arch like that made of antlers, and they were made by the local Rotary Club. So that's a little bit of information that will do you no good whatsoever in life, but it's fun to know. It's raining and not the warmest day. But even so, driving here through Wyoming on my way from Grand Teton to Salt Lake City, the scenery is really, really very pretty. So it's quite a long drive, but at least there's something to look at. This is the campground that I'm in at Salt Lake City. It's a big campground, lots of spaces. Some of them are what are called pull-through, like this one where you don't need to reverse your vehicle. Those are more expensive. Here's my vehicle. You can see, unlike the previous campground, there's a nice concrete pad to put your vehicle on. You've got a bit of space and a picnic table next to you, and there's a bit of a hedge separating your property from the one next to you. It's shaded, which is not that useful in winter, but in summer it's nice. Today's wintry. And the complex has a swimming pool, it has a hot tub, a little store, laundry, so it's very organized. But the reason I chose this one is that just across the road is the light rail into town. So I'm going to go into town even though it's raining and explore Salt Lake City a little bit. A couple of things strike you immediately in the center of Salt Lake City. One is how very, very clean it is. The second thing is the number of shops that are closed, and related to that, how quiet it is in terms of the number of people. A lot of 100 to 150-year-old buildings, and what's cool is many of them have explanations as to how they were built by, etc., etc. I don't think that's incredibly interesting, so I'm not going to talk about that. Everything here is very tastefully done. This is an inside mall which has a little river running down through it. About a third of the population of the city are Mormons. In this whole complex, all these buildings here, these are kind of their world headquarters, including a library, a convention center, and I believe that is a church that is undergoing renovation. We can't go in, and because of the renovation works, the visitor center is closed, unfortunately. What's interesting is that their temple has a Magen David in it, and I checked, that definitely is their church. Maybe they call it a temple, maybe that's by accident, maybe it's deliberate, I don't know. Soon after I filmed that last clip, the heavens well and truly opened, so I made a dash for the light rail and came back to the campsite. So tomorrow morning I carry on heading south to the desert. I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably going to be dry camping there, but we'll see. Before I go, I just wanted to show you, I know in the earlier video I showed you a lot of the stuff that I bought that was mainly hiking or survival stuff. I want to show you a few other things that I bought that are really making a difference. The first, a little simple thing, is I enjoy my coffee. This thermos flask will keep my coffee hot for an hour, but I bought one of these. It was all of $5 or $4, something like that. Filter paper, ground coffee, really good coffee. Second thing I bought is this. This is a power bank. Now, at the moment, the campsite I'm connected to electricity, all the sockets, everything works. When I'm dry camping, which I will be tomorrow, and I have done a couple of times, the lights work, the water pump works, the toilet paper, and then I have gas for cooking. I have no electrical whatsoever. I can use the battery for the car battery, but I don't want to run that down and get stuck. So this has a bunch of USB and C type sources, and also 2 sockets for regular, in the USA it's 110 volts. It also has a flashlight for emergencies. It's not the strongest battery in the world, but it's light, it was fairly cheap, it's convenient. On a related note, I bought this, which plugs into the cigarette lighter of the car and will give me either an extra USB or 110 volts. And I can use this to charge either the battery or my computer while I'm driving on the long road trips. So that's great. Like, probably for the next 4 days I'm not going to have a vehicle plugged in anyway, so I've got to keep things charged while I drive. The final thing that I want to show you, I have to actually get up to show you, camera around. So I have obviously a sink, a shower, toilet, etc. I have a 20 gallon, which is I believe 76 liters of water, but you cannot use that for drinking. So I bought this 5 gallon, which is 23 liter bottle, and it cost me anything from $1.50 to like $2.20 for 23 liters of water. But what I bought on Amazon is this rechargeable USB. It's a water pump, because obviously lugging around a 20 gallon bottle of water, it's heavy. So this thing lives here on the passenger seat. It's all strapped in, and I just touch this and it pumps out water, and I need to recharge it about once a week. So I thought I'd give you one more insight into what I do here. One thing I didn't buy, which was lent to me, was making a huge difference. I have a little satellite radio, and I get BBC and CNN and all that radio. One thing I am not missing is television. I haven't seen TV for over a month, and that's fine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little insight. Tomorrow it's down to the desert. I'm going to post this. I know it's very soon after my previous video, but there's a good chance that for the next 4 days I won't be able to post anything. So I hope you enjoy watching it, and be well.